Hey, and welcome to Oh, That's Unusual. Your name is?
My name is Robin Sinford.
Awesome. Nice to meet you. Glad we could have you on this episode. So I heard you had a little bit of a story to tell us. What was the case?
Okay, so about 10 years ago, my ex husband Mark and I were shopping for stuff for our new apartment. We were on our way back from doing that, and I was 5 months pregnant, which is somewhat important to the story. We were going down Edwards Mill Road where the big hill is, and this car full of frat boys that was in front of us threw this can of soda out, and it hit the hood of our car, bounced up, hit the windshield, put soda everywhere. And we were both like, hey, what, and mad. And I was like, pull up next to him. So I had this big, completely full, large Panera Bread styrofoam cup, and I was like, I'm going to throw it at their car. And so we pull up next to him, and I chuck it at the car, Hail Mary. It goes in the window and explodes inside the car.
Oh, wow.
And we go to Harris Teeter, and we're getting like $200 worth of basic groceries, and we're in there forever, like an hour. When we come back out, the frat boys are there, and they have changed from their little sports car into this big lifted truck. And my ex-husband Mark was like, what do you think you guys are doing, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, we're going to beat you up, blah, blah, blah. And we were like, oh, God, because he was in the middle of getting out of the army, and we didn't need trouble. So,
Yeah.
we're like driving back towards the apartment, but not wanting to lead these idiots to our apartment, and not really sure how legal chucking a full cup of soda into somebody's car is. We didn't want to call the cops. So I'm on my little Nokia cell phone, texting everyone I know, calling them, being like, hey, can you come help me? Because I was big in the punk scene. Like, I knew a million dirty punks. So, Maddie's like, no, I'm a pacifist. And I'm like, Maddie, no. And eventually I get to Jeremy, who was my best friend. And I call Jeremy, and he's like, where are you guys at? And I'm like, well, we're going down Dixie Trail. And he's like, keep going in circles. You know where Carly's is? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, go around in circles. We'll be there in 5 minutes. I'm like, okay. So
That's a little foreboding.
yeah. So we're going around in circles through this very wooded little tiny neighborhood by Crowley's, and this big lifted truck is just following us in circles around and around. Eventually my phone rings again, and I pick up, and it's Jeremy, and he's like, stop the car. So we stop the car. And the big lifted truck behind us stops too, and then behind them this giant service truck stops.
Oh,
and
no.
we're like, oh no. And all these guys start pouring out of the service truck. These are like mid-40s construction workers, giant, like, angry looking guys. One of them grabs rebar off of the back of the truck, and a piece hits the ground and goes ding, 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 ding. We're like, holy crap. One of them has this giant Rottweiler. I don't even know what's happening. I'm like, Mark, they're gonna kill somebody. And he's like, it's gonna be okay. So my friend Jeremy comes around. He's got this look on his face like, yeah. He's got this like 1 foot tall blonde mohawk and covered in tattoos, just like typical scum punker. And they walk over to this lifted truck. And the first thing that happens is this giant, angry looking construction worker reaches into this lifted truck, pulls the keys out of the ignition, and chucks them into the woods.
Oh, geez. What was their reaction?
They were like, what's going on? And they're like, we heard you were giving our friends some problems. So the kids and the frat boys are all like freaking out, like, oh my god, we weren't gonna do anything, we're so sorry. And they're like, you need to apologize to our friends. So like the frat boys are like, we're so sorry, we'll never do anything like this again. So yeah, Jeremy comes up, he's like, you guys happy? I was like, holy crap. Yeah, thank you. I was like, come by the apartment in like 20 minutes. I'll go get you guys a case of PBR. That was amazing. You guys totally saved our butts. And yeah, that was the most unusual, like, superhero punk rocker story I've ever had.
That's pretty unusual and a heck of a resolution. Thanks for talking with us today.
You're welcome.